Hey guys, it's Michael, and in this video I want to show you the sounds and possibilities of my latest amp purchase, which is this gorgeous looking divided by 13 FTR 37. I've been owning it for only a couple of weeks, but I've used it extensively for recording and I really have to say I am impressed. So let's start with the features on the front panel. So here on the left side you have your standard power switch, your standby switch, and a full and half switch, which lets you cut down the power from 37 watts to 18 watts. Now here you have one of the two channels of the amp, and this side is modeled after an American California Fullerton style amp. And there you have your volume, which is basically a gain knob, because after here it doesn't really get any louder, so from here on it only adds gain. You have your 2-band EQ, it's only bass and treble, and you have your built-in spring reverb. This side is the second channel, which is modeled after a British Class A amp. So it's not inspired by this British brand, but by the other great British brand. And this side works a little different. You don't have a standard EQ, you only have a single tone knob, which has 6 settings. And basically it gets thicker the more you turn it up. And you can use the two channels separately by plugging in one of the two sides. The upper input jack being a little bit hotter than the lower input jack. But you can also use at the same time by using this device that comes along with the amp, the divided by 13 switcher cell, which is a very sophisticated switching system. So you have A or B, A, B, and in the middle you have your knob for A and B. So if you step on this one, both channels are working together. But you also have a lift function on this side, which activates a clean boost that you can control with this knob, and it goes up to 9 dB. So you can bring out a lot of overdrive only by using this knob here. And you have a tuner switch, so you have an extra input jack where you can go in with your tuner, and this knob mutes your signal and lets you use your tuner in silent mode. Okay, so now that you know all about the features, let's take a short listen on how the two channels sound. Now, what you heard in that little demo is actually the first reason why I think this amp is so valuable for studio work. Because while you have those two separate channels that gives you two separate sounds, they also sound similar enough that you can clearly hear it's coming from one and the same amp. So while this very simplistic front gives you a ton of tonal options just by tweaking around and using one channel and then the other or both at the same time, you always have character. You always have the character of this amp. And this is something I really like, because I'm not a big fan of recording with a lot of different amplifiers for one and the same track, because I want my guitars to have character. And with this amp, I actually have two things. I have the tonal options and I have character. The second reason why I think this amp is such a great asset is because of how well the controls work. The EQ section here, it's just amazing what nuances you can get out of it. Although I think it sounds best when you turn up the treble a little and roll down the bass a little, so you have a really sparkling tone. The gain, also there you can really go for the nuance. Between 11 and 12 o'clock there are so many different sounds, it's actually amazing. And also this side, the tone knob with the 6 different settings, it actually works pretty subtle, but those nuances can make all the difference for a great guitar tone. Let me just show you how I tweak around those knobs to give you a little impression. The third reason I love this amp is its simplicity, because while you have all those different tonal options, you only have 6 knobs and it's very easy to play around with them and get great guitar tones. Also, it's very guitar friendly, so no matter if you plug in a single coil guitar, a P90s guitar or a humbucker guitar, you will get decent tones after maybe a couple of minutes of playing around with the controls. What I love to do for rhythm guitars, for example, is use one channel of the amp, pan it all the way to the right, and then use the other channel to pan all the way to the left, and then you have the combined tone of the 2 channels in a broad stereo field. And here's a little production where I did exactly that. I wanted to go for a big rock guitar sound, so I had 4 different guitar tracks, panned left and right, and for the basic guitars, the P90 guitar, I used the 2 channels separately, panned them, and therefore I got a really big sound. In case you don't like it, it's probably more due to my underwhelming skills as a mixing engineer and not due to the amp. So there you have it. This is why I think the amp is great. Now, are there things I don't like about it? Yes. First of all, it's big and it's heavy. Actually, the chassis is one of a full-blown 100 watt amp. It's also way heavier than my 50 watt Marshall. And I think for a 37 watt amp, this is pretty ridiculous, especially in a time where everybody is going for smaller amps, and rightly so. Second of all, I don't really use the reverb. It sounds good, but not awesome. But that doesn't bother me too much, because for recording I get my reverb from plugins anyways. And what really bothers me is some things on the switcher cell here. Now, first of all, this tuner function here, it actually mutes your guitar. So when you step on it, your signal is gone, and there is no LED that tells you if it's on or off. So what happened quite a couple of times is I was sitting here and no signal at all, and I checked the routing, I checked the interface, I checked my pedal board, till I found out that I stepped on this knob here and my signal was gone because of that. Now, second thing is, I think the lift function, it's a very cool feature, but it doesn't sound too great, so I couldn't get any usable tones out of that particular clean boost. But that actually brings me to my third point. The amp is actually a little bit picky when it comes to pedals. My TS9 Tube Screamer didn't sound too good with the amp. Also my BB preamp, which is an amazing overdrive, I couldn't get it really to work with this amp, but luckily I found the Occo Diablo drive, which is this pedal right here. I've found it by accident, and this turned out to work incredibly well. And here's at the end a little sample of how my Strat sounds with this amp and with this pedal. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and since this is my first ever review, please let me know in the comments what you think about it, and also if you wish to have more of that content in the future. Anyways guys, if you liked it, please hit the like and subscribe button, and see you in the next video.